Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for another waiver wire episode. This one for week 16 of the fantasy hockey season. Before we jump into it, guys, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you do want to consider taking your support to the next level, definitely go to the link below, check out my Patreon, or click that join button right here on YouTube. Let's not waste any more time here, and let's jump right into the content of today. And first up is the schedule for the upcoming week 16. And on Monday, January 20th, there are 9 games. On Tuesday, there are 8. On Wednesday, there are only 4. Thursday, there are 11. Friday, 4. Saturday, 13. And Sunday, there are 5. So, the off days this week are Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. However, none of the days this week are that busy. So check Monday and Tuesday and even Thursday if you maybe have some room in your lineup. Off nights are not the most important this week, but still, if you do manage to add players that play off nights, you're more likely to be able to fit them in your lineup. Again, check your lineup before making any kind of ad, and then make your ads based on that. Now, one thing that's going to help you make those ads is this slide right here, the good schedule. Who has the best schedule? And that is the Winnipeg Jets, who play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So if they play on all 3 off nights, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And then there are 5 teams that play on 2 off nights as well. Colorado, Florida, Utah, Vegas, and Chicago. And the first 4 teams that I just mentioned play 4 games this week, which is pretty good. Whereas Chicago only plays 2 games this week, but at least they're on off day. So I would stream them for Friday, Sunday. I wouldn't grab them earlier than that if you are planning on streaming a Chicago Blackhawk. Additionally, there are 8 teams, other than the ones I've already mentioned, that play 4 games this week. Boston, Buffalo, Carolina, Columbus, Minnesota, Ottawa, San Jose, and Tampa Bay. And there's only one team that really has a bad schedule this week, and that's the New Jersey Devils, because they only play 2 games. There are no other teams that play 2 games other than Chicago, but those are at least on the off nights. New Jersey's one of their 2 games at least is on an off night as well, but their other game is on the busiest night of the week. So really not an ideal schedule. Definitely don't be streaming Devils players this week. Jumping into forwards that you can consider streaming, and first on the list is Gabriel Vilardi of the Winnipeg Jets, top line and top power play. And if you are in a shallow league, he could be available. And Winnipeg Jets have that amazing schedule. So definitely a no-brainer ad if you are in a shallow league and he's available. Matthew Barzal is an ad not for off nights, but he's someone who's been absolutely great since coming back from injury and definitely needs to be owned in more than 70% of leagues. Patrick Liney's been great as well, playing top power play, second line with Montreal. He's looked great since coming back from his injury. Dylan Holloway of the St. Louis Blues still getting great deployment there in St. Louis and still producing. I know he went cold for a couple games there, but definitely someone who can continue to produce. Dmitry Voronkov's playing on the top line and top power play in Columbus, and he's just been incredible. And the Jackets do have 4 games this week. Next is Marco Rossi of the Minnesota Wild, playing on the top line, usually with Kaprizov and Zuccarello. With Kaprizov injured, he's still been producing pretty well. And when Kaprizov comes back, his production should stay pretty much the same, because right now he's getting that top power play time with Kaprizov out. But when Kaprizov comes back in, obviously, he's going to get a boatload of assists, even strength. So definitely not too bad there. He's been really, really good this year. A very, very nice ad for you. Josh Norris of the Ottawa Senators is also playing 4 games this week for Ottawa and is playing second line top power play. Been pretty solid all year and has been producing lately as well. Jonathan Drouin of the Colorado Avalanche has those off nights that Colorado has, 4 games total, and is getting top 6 deployment as well as power play time. Definitely not a bad thing to be on a Nathan MacKinnon power play. Nino Niederreiter of the Winnipeg Jets is continuing to only really get third line time in Winnipeg, but this year he's been pretty good, and as of late he started to heat up a little bit, and on a week where Winnipeg has a great off-night schedule, it's a pretty good streamer. Logan Stankoven has started to heat right back up lately as well. Now, he has been awful this year, so If you pick him up and he starts to go cold again, drop him. But it's kind of a speculative add because we know how much talent he has. And if you add him right now, he could potentially go off for the rest of the year. Next, William Eklund is a pretty good add this week as well. The Sharks do play 4 games, and he's getting top line and top power play time on a line with Celebrini and Toffoli, and obviously top power play. I know it's the Sharks, but still, that's a really great deployment, and he has been producing as of late. Nick Schmaltz is not an ad because he's been hot. It's an ad because Utah has a good schedule this week. 3 off nights, well, 2 plus Monday, which is almost an off night. And he's playing on the top line and top power play with Clayton Keller, so definitely there's always opportunities there for him to score points. Adam Lowry's there for the off nights as well, playing on that third line with Nino Niederreiter. Hasn't been too bad this year. Always gives you a decently safe floor with hits and some shots. Pavel Dorofeev of the Vegas Golden Knights is playing currently with Tomas Hertl and Victor Olofsson, and he's also getting top power play time right now. And lately, he's been quite hot. He's coming off a recent game with a hat trick. And Vegas also does play 4 games this week, 2 of them being off nights. Adam Fantilli of the Columbus Blue Jackets, top line and top power play right now with Monahan injured. That's really, really, really good deployment for him. Kaapo Kakko of the Seattle Kraken has sneakily been really good lately, been almost a point per game for the last 8 or 9 games, which is really, really good. Morgan Frost has been heating up as of late as well, getting some solid deployment and putting up some points. Kirby Dach, second line with Patrick Laine as of late, and has been really, really, really much better than the first half of the season, which doesn't take much because he didn't do a whole lot, but really is producing now, is putting up some points, and if you're in a deep league, you could do worse than adding Kirby Dach to your team. Josh Doan is another ad for those off days that Utah has. He's playing 2 off days plus Monday, and at only 2% rostered, he's getting top power play time with Clayton Keller, as well as second line time. He's basically taken exactly Dylan Guenther's spot in the lineup. And until Guenther comes back, Josh Doan is not the worst ad if you are in a deeper league. Ryan McLeod is someone who I suggested last week for the 2 off days that Buffalo had this week, week 15. And on Wednesday night, he recorded a hat trick. I haven't seen what he did on Friday yet, but either way, he's getting top 6 deployment right now. And as long as he's hot, why not stream him? And Buffalo does play 2 games to start the week, Monday and Tuesday, and they have a total of 4 games. So if you can fit them all the days and you're in a deep league, why not? And finally, a little bonus one here, Marco Kasper of the Detroit Red Wings playing on the top line with Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond. And doesn't have left wing eligibility yet, but he should gain it. And over his last 4 games, he has 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists. He's been going off. No, he doesn't have any power play time. And no, he doesn't have great minutes. But that's very encouraging. And if you are in a super deep league, you might as well take a flyer at him. Jumping into defensemen, Lane Hutson is the number 1 guy on this list. Probably the last time I'll be able to include him this year. And for those of you who are in leagues that don't have someone that owns Lane Hutson, what are you doing? Pick him up right now. He's basically a point per game or more over the last 20 games. Just add him to your team and you will be happy. Shane Gostisbehere is a top power play in Carolina. It's worth noting though that he is expecting a baby this week, so there's a chance that he could miss a game. Either way, Carolina does play 4 games this week, so it shouldn't be too bad for him. Jake Wallman, San Jose Sharks top power play, 61% rostered, been really great all year, decent peripherals and solid point production. Jake Middleton is there really for the peripherals, but Minnesota does play 4 games this week, so definitely not too bad of a streamer there. Jackson Lacombe has been absolutely fantastic in Anaheim, playing on the top power play and putting up some very consistent points. Nico Mikkola of the Florida Panthers is only 7% rostered, but putting up some really solid blocks numbers and some really solid hits numbers, and is shooting a little bit as well. So if you're in a categories league or something like that, or even a points-based league where these kind of peripherals get you some points, that's a good ad. Pulock is the same thing. Some really solid blocks peripherals, a little bit less of the other peripherals, but a little bit more of a chance for points than Nico Mikkola. Jamie Drysdale is on the top power play in Philadelphia, and as of late is finally starting to heat up. So if he can continue that, definitely someone that could be worth adding in deep leagues. Mason Lohrei is also on the top power play in Boston and is also seemingly heating up a little bit. So if you're in a deep league, you can take a flyer at him. And finally, Noah Juulsen of the Vancouver Canucks is only 1% rostered, but is putting up some really respectable peripherals. So if that's what you need, it's really not a bad option in a deep league. In terms of goalies, Sam Montembeault is 69% rostered and might be the last time I'm able to include him on a list like this as well. He's been really, really good, and Montreal has been winning a lot of games lately, so he's someone who should be added in more leagues. Kevin Lankinen, despite Demko being back, is still getting plenty of starts, and Demko has kind of been struggling, so Lankinen is definitely not a bad add. Vejmelka of the Utah Hockey Club has had a couple of rough starts, but they seem to still be giving him the games over Ingram. Monitor that situation a little bit more closely, but Vejmelka is still the guy to me. Talbot and Lyon of the Detroit Red Wings are splitting starts in Detroit. Lyon should be coming back any day now, so they should be splitting starts relatively evenly. But as of late, honestly, Talbot has been pretty good. So even if Lyon comes back, Talbot might still get the bulk of the starts. Dostal and Gibson are splitting starts evenly in Anaheim. Both good options if you want a 50-50 goaltender. Merzlikins is getting pretty much all the starts in Columbus. There was 2 starts that he didn't get in a row. I'm assuming he was sick or something, which is why they didn't want to start him. Levi Marilainen of the Ottawa Senators is 23% rostered and is doing really, really well over there. And until Olmark comes back, he's going to be the starter. Samuel Urson of the Philadelphia Flyers has actually been pretty good as of late, up to 17% rostered. And if you're in a deeper league and you're in points based or whatever, like, he's someone that definitely can help you out. Spencer Knight of the Florida Panthers is up to 10% rostered. And the reason I like him, it's not because I think he's going to be stealing starts from Bobrovsky. It's because Florida actually has 2 sets of back-to-backs this week. They play Tuesday and Wednesday, and they also play Saturday and Sunday. That means that Spencer Knight is guaranteed 2 starts this week, which is definitely not bad. And if you're desperate for some goalie starts, Knight can fulfill those starts for you this week. Same thing with Jonas Johansson. The Bolts also play 2 sets of back-to-backs this week, Monday and Tuesday, and Saturday and Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So Jonas Johansson should get a couple of starts this week. It may have been Friday, Saturday. Blomqvist and Nedeljkovic should be splitting starts in Pittsburgh now. The night that I'm recording this, the Friday night, Nedeljkovic is starting. I don't know how he's going to do, but Blomqvist will get the start on Saturday. So whoever really does better from those starts is the guy you want to be picking up, because that's who they'll probably start on Monday and probably going forward as well. And finally, if you want a sneaky little ad, Laurent Brossoit could be someone to add if you have room on IR in your league and you're desperate for a goalie. If you really need a goalie, Mrazek and Soderblom have really been struggling. Now, Brossoit had surgery a couple of months ago, and his ETA was supposed to be mid-January. So it's mid-January, guys. So Brossoit, while I haven't heard anything on him, it's possible that he returns soon. And with the way the other Chicago goalies have been playing, it's also possible that he steals the crease. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.